American Graffiti, the first film to be produced by George Lucas's production company Lucasfilm, was a 1973 coming-of-age comedy drama set in Modesto, California in 1962. The film has been described as a study of the cruising and early rock and roll scenes popular among Lucas's age group during that pivotal period in American history. The movie's plot is revealed through a series of vignettes that tell the tale of a group of teens and their adventures over the course of a single evening. The film featured a star-studded cast that included the likes of Richard Dreyfuss, Cindy Williams, Ron Howard, Harrison Ford, and Suzanne Somers, although at the time, many of these actors were just getting their footing in the film industry. Suzanne Somers was fresh into her acting career at the time. She had appeared in minor roles in the late 60s and early 70s, but her iconic appearance as the mysterious blonde in the white Thunderbird in American Graffiti ultimately helped launch her film and television career. In this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at George Lucas's American Graffiti and how it helped launch Suzanne's career. We'll also discuss that gorgeous 1956 Thunderbird and tell you a little bit of behind the scenes about how it came to be in the film. Join Facts First as we reveal how fans almost didn't recognize Suzanne Somers in American Graffiti. She barely landed the role. When Suzanne Somers was cast as the blonde in the Thunderbird, she was living in Sausalito at the time, across the bay from San Francisco. She learned of the role from Anne Brebner, George Lucas's casting director, who told her Lucas was looking for a blonde. At the time, Somers was just a fresh-faced, inexperienced actress desperately trying to land her first significant role. She made appearances in several minor TV and film roles, but she hadn't scored anything significant. She was born and raised in San Bruno, California, near San Francisco. Neither of her parents were in the entertainment industry, and she didn't discover she wanted to be an actress until after attending San Francisco College for Women, a school run and operated by the Catholic Society of the Sacred Heart Order. At 19, while still in school, Suzanne married a man named Bruce Somers. The couple had a son, Bruce Jr., in November of 1965, but 3 years later, that marriage ended. This was a pivotal moment in Suzanne's early years. She shifted gears and reevaluated her career trajectory. This video is sponsored by Kamikoto knives, which are made from high-quality Japanese steel using traditional centuries-old techniques. The first thing I noticed about these knives is the beautiful, heavy-duty ash wood box they come in. Not only is this great for storage, but it makes a great gift for any chef or knife enthusiast. Upon opening the box, I couldn't help but admire the craftsmanship that goes into each knife. Each one is handcrafted by an expert bladesmith, a 19-step process that takes several years to complete for a single Japanese steel knife. Then, each blade is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. I had never used a Japanese steel knife until Kamikoto, but even as a casual home chef, I immediately noticed the quality was way better than any knife I'd used before. It's reasons like these that Kamikoto knives are used by Michelin star chefs all over the world. Kamikoto has several special offers going on right now and is offering our viewers an extra $50 off any purchase with the discount code FACTSFIRST on top of ongoing special offers. Go to kamikoto.com/factsfirst to get your knives set and help support our channel. In 1969, she became a prize model on the syndicated game show Anniversary Game. That's where she met her future husband, Alan Hamill. Around this time, she appeared in 3 films in bit parts, all uncredited, including in Bullet, Daddy's Gone A-Hunting, and Fools. From 1971 to 73, she also enjoyed a minor role in the TV series Man Trap. So by the time she learned about the open casting call for American Graffiti, it's not as if she was completely unexperienced. But she wasn't a well-known star and was struggling to make ends meet. In one interview she gave later, she revealed that after learning of the role from Brebner, she struggled to make it to the audition as she couldn't even afford to pay the Golden Gate Bridge toll to get across the bay to San Francisco. That toll only cost 50 cents, but she didn't have it to spare. But instead of becoming discouraged, Somers decided to go anyway and see what happens. When crossing the bridge, she told the toll attendant she had accidentally forgotten her cash at home. The attendant responded by saying they would allow her to pass if she left some kind of collateral. These days, they would have taken her license plate number and billed her through the mail, but this was the early 70s. Somers shuffled through her purse and produced a tube of lipstick. After the attendant allowed her to use that lipstick as collateral, she learned she could make it across the bridge so long as she brought extra sticks of lipstick with her. She claims she continued to do this until she was able to pull herself out of poverty. When she got to the audition, she felt overwhelmed. She noticed that just about every blonde in town had showed up trying to land the role of the blonde in the Thunderbird. At one point, she decided to leave, thinking there was no way she'd land the role. But a casting agent stopped her before she made it to the door and informed her that George Lucas had singled her out in particular and wanted to meet her. He apparently had seen one of her headshots and thought she looked the part. She was surprised but stuck around. After being brought in front of George Lucas, whom she described as being slumped behind his desk, Lucas asked her one question: "Can you drive?" Somers replied by saying that she could in fact drive, and George merely said okay, and that was that. When she arrived back at her apartment, the phone was ringing. When she picked up the receiver, it was Brebner, who promptly informed her she'd been cast as the blonde. As anyone who's ever seen American Graffiti knows, Somers' role in the film was very brief. In fact, even after she was cast, she didn't realize just how much of an impact that role would have on her career. To her, it was just a cameo in a film that she didn't even recognize as being that good. The impact the film ultimately had on society and culture evaded her at the time. It was only after Johnny Carson announced on his show that, quote, everyone was looking for the mysterious blonde in the Thunderbird that she realized just how big of an impact the film had and how her appearance in it would shape her future. American Graffiti hit theaters on August 11, 1973 in the U.S. It was met with widespread critical acclaim and even nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. It was produced on a budget of $777,000, but went on to earn an estimated return of more than $200 million in box office and home video sales, making it one of the most profitable films of all time. It was so influential, the Library of Congress designated it a film of cultural, historical, or aesthetical significance in 1995, selecting it for preservation in the National Film Registry. The 1956 Thunderbird. A man named Clay Daly purchased the Thunderbird seen in American Graffiti for his wife in 1964 at a used Ford dealership in San Bernardino, California. It was originally painted red and already had 55,000 miles on the odometer. Several years later, the Dalys moved to Petaluma, where much of American Graffiti was filmed. That's when the T-Bird received its white paint job. In 1972, Mrs. Daly had parked the car in downtown Petaluma while she was out running errands. When she got back to the car, it had a piece of brown paper bag tucked into the windshield. Someone had written a note on the bag asking if the owner of the vehicle would like to have it appear in a movie. The author left a phone number. The Dalys brushed it off as a joke, but on a whim they decided to call it anyway. Much to their surprise, the phone number directed them to Lucasfilms, and they wanted to use their car in the upcoming film American Graffiti. The Dalys agreed to the studio's terms, and the T-Bird wound up appearing in the film. All the nighttime shots were filmed in downtown Petaluma, so the Dalys were able to actually watch a few of them. The Dalys and the T-Bird made an appearance at the San Bernardino Route 66 Rendezvous in 1998 on the 25th anniversary of the movie's release. In 1999, the Dalys were invited to be guests on the Lisa daytime talk show. Suzanne Somers was also a guest, and halfway through the episode, Lisa asked the Dalys to stand up in the audience. She then asked if Suzanne recognized them. Somers replied by saying she didn't think so. Lisa then told Somers the Dalys knew her and they had a surprise for her. The audience was asked to go outside of the studio. That's when Suzanne's husband, Alan Hamill, drove up in the Thunderbird. Suzanne was really surprised since she hadn't seen the T-Bird since the film was made. In the summer of 2005, Somers made her Broadway debut in the one-woman show The Blonde and the Thunderbird. The production was made up of a collection of stories about Suzanne's life and career. Unfortunately, the show was canceled in less than a week after receiving poor reviews. Now it's time to hear from you. When you first saw American Graffiti, were you as enamored of the Blonde and the Thunderbird as everyone else? Let us know in the comments section below.